Chapter 1. Cart Before the Horse. We're doing it wrong. Conventional wisdom since time immemorial has been that upon graduating from high school, you immediately go to college. This then commits you to a lifelong career which will serve as the sole economic engine that will support and finance your entire life. You are then to buy a house as soon as possible to save on rent, while also contemplating grad school, as that will certainly advance your career. While juggling all of this, add a spouse and the inevitable children that come with it into the mix. Sock away for your 401k or IRA. Put in your 30 years. Retire at 65. Collect Social Security and then die surrounded by children and grandchildren you have yet to name. This is the plan. This is the route. This is the script our elders have determined is in your best interests. This is why you have had this advice pounded into your skull ever since you were a little child. And all of it is flawed. Not that going to college is a bad idea or a grad degree won't necessarily increase your salary. Nor is buying a house a bad idea or saving for retirement. But this time-tested advice is flawed not only because it is impossible to apply a universal life plan to 300 million unique American individuals, but because mandating everybody go to college is just plain wrong, and by chronological default screws up the remainder of advice, rendering all of it moot. After graduating from high school, you must immediately go to college. It is this advice that has ruined the lives of 2 full generations of Americans and Westerners. At some point in American history, it paid to immediately attend college. It boosted your lifetime earnings, dramatically increased your chances of finding employment, and otherwise proved to be a huge net benefit to your life. But times have changed, and with nearly everybody going to college, not to mention economic growth being halved, an education bubble has formed where students now graduate with worthless degrees, poor job prospects, and insurmountable debts that will crush and cripple them for the rest of their financial lives. But economic reasons aside, there are other reasons why going to college immediately after high school is not only wrong, but absolutely damaging to a young person's future. And these reasons are based in just plain, simple logic. First, it is laughable that a 17-year-old junior, which is the age one must start applying to college and determine a major, has the wisdom, experience, and self-knowledge to choose a major that will become their lifelong career and passion. They've never worked a real job. They've never supported themselves in the real world. And their entire lives have been in the context of childhood, not adulthood. They simply haven't lived long enough to develop a knowledge about the world, let alone themselves, to see what kind of role or capacity they should play in it. Second, school is a mental prison, especially for the intelligent who are presumably college-bound. While you would think school would prepare a young person to make a wise decision about what to study, the truth is school puts most kids' brains into comas. School is not a place young people look forward to attending where they'll be intellectually stimulated, mentally invigorated, leading them towards new epiphanies and self-discovery. Schools are mental torture facilities that we force our children to attend because we don't want to raise them or educate them at home. So, while one would think a high school junior would know what they'd want to do after 13 years of school, the truth is most students go into a state of arrested development and are just as prepared to make major life decisions at 16 as they were when they first attended kindergarten. Third, depending on which statistics you want to use, about half of college graduates don't end up working in their field. Worse, even if they work in their field, they rarely stay there as the average person changes careers about 5 times over the course of a lifetime. This not only calls into question the entire point of going to college, but completely debunks the premise that college should be your first and most urgent step after high school. And finally, there's underemployment. Again, the statistics will vary, but anywhere between 20% and 50% of college graduates are working jobs that are beneath their skill level and education. Though more of a problem Gen X and millennials face, it behooves the question, why go to college if you're only going to get a job you could have done when you were in the 9th grade? When you sum this up, young people face an impossible task. We tell them their only shot at success in life is through college, but not only is college becoming increasingly expensive, it is also becoming increasingly worthless. They have to risk 4 years of youth and tens of thousands of dollars on a bet whose odds are worsening. But if this decision wasn't hard enough, it gets even worse. They're so young, they, 1, don't know what they want to do, 2, don't know where they want to live, 3. Don't know who they are. And 4. Lack the real-world experience necessary to answer these 3 vital and very important questions. Without knowing the answers to these important questions, how can a young person possibly make an informed and wise decision about something as important as their future? It is almost a guarantee they will make the wrong decision, waste 4 years of their youth, and cripple their financial futures with student loans. Still, we browbeat it into their heads that they must go to college and that the key to success is college. Some parents I know go so far as to threaten to kick their children out of the house if they choose to work instead of go to college. And thus, like forcing 18-year-old draftees into the trenches of World War I, they go cluelessly and helplessly, but most assuredly to pay the dear price of an impaired and crippled future, all because we forced them to go about life the wrong way.